Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope everybody is really doing well. And welcome to this live stream. Today is 28th of March, and the dump has happened. And whether this dump is over or not is a very big question at this point. But it has literally went to my blue box, as you know. Even yesterday, I mentioned that this is the blue box where I'm aiming for. 61.5 to 60.3 is the levels where I'm aiming for Bitcoin to long. And that's exactly where it went. Honestly speaking, yes, I have got personally some knife, not big one, but not big, I would say, position, but I have it on current monthly open, because normally the monthly opens is the levels where, it has to be defended. And historically speaking, only 2020 was the month when March was red. Rest all the months where March was green actually. So I think I really don't see any sort of a one-offs over here, or any sort of a COVID or any other anything out of this world will happen, that sort of a big crash could happen. And hence I personally believe that buying the March opens can literally be a good sign. Now probably the price might literally dump under the March opens, can go to 57, 58, but at the end of the day I'm expecting the that most likely that we are likely going to close March in green, whatever it may be. It can close around 72, it can close around 69. In my view, this month is going to be the deciding factor. The next 10 days would be the deciding factor for Bitcoin, whether what the next April to December is going to bring for Bitcoin. Why? Because February, if Feb literally closed a very interesting candle on the Feb happened. Now, if you look at the Feb month, yes, we did not close Feb above the previous all-time highs of 69.1. But very interesting thing to note here is that we literally closed, Feb around, a little bit, I would say, under the monthly SR of 61,344. Now if March is also closing like this green, actually this is what I anticipate. But if you really just want a very bullish case for Bitcoin, we really want BTC to close above 69.1, because if that happens, that would be a clear sign that BTC is getting acceptance across the board. March turned green, and we are going to start a big bull run, taking Bitcoin price to more than $100,000. As I mentioned yesterday as well on the stream, the max case for this BTC, in my view, if we are bearish, 120 to 127,000. And if we are very bullish, we are literally going to 300,000, maybe even 400,000. So that is what the bullish case for Bitcoin at that point of time would be. So in the next 10 days of the March, that is from 21st, let's say from today itself, 28th of March till 31st of March, almost like 11 days would be the deciding factor what Bitcoin is going to do in the next months, April to December onwards. So that is what you really don't want to see Bitcoin closing as a swing failure pattern on a monthly time frame. Making new highs and closing as a swing failure pattern is a strong sign of a rejection. Even though it closes green, of course, then it would also mean that whatever the price or whatever the push we get on the Bitcoin is for literally shorting at that point of time. This is how it would be. For now, I think we are bull, and honestly, dips are for buying for Bitcoin. I'm expecting BTC to just give us a retest of 62.4 to 62.1, and run it back to probably 70,000. Maybe even it can just sweep the highs and make new highs. That's what Bitcoin can easily do. Now, why do I feel there are two possible wave counts that I have over here? Now, before we deep dive into the USDT DOM, just hear me out. There are two possible wave counts on Bitcoin, and that wave count is clearly very high probable. Both the wave counts are very much high probable wave counts. So first of all, if you look at here, let's say this was the 5 waves on the downside. Okay, so if this is the 5 waves, we are talking about the bearish count. If this is wave 1, 5 waves, and this was wave A over here, irregular expanded flat for wave B, so that was your wave 2, and then we have got another 5 waves. So we are just getting wave 1 of 3, and basically we're going to see a big wave 3 actually on the downside. The wave 3 would normally go big in my view, and if we are closing March under 65,000 or 100, or even I would say exact levels would be 64,966. If March closes under 64,966, would be very bearish, and we would be aiming for Bitcoin going towards not only 50k, but I would be aiming Bitcoin then going towards sweep the lows, taking all the liquidity under 50,500. My target would be equilibrium, which would be around $47,000. That's what I would be practically aiming if March closes under 64,966. So that is to be seen at this point. We still have 11 days, so bulls still have a lot of time to not make that thing happen. So let's see what bulls are going to give us. Now this is the valid wave count that I have, bearish wave count, you can say, very bearish that would be, and that is literally going to put the whole plan for a Bitcoin like it's gonna be like a whole plan for a Bitcoin might go for a toss. Now this is a very bearish count that we are having. Now this is considering that the weekly closed as a swing failure pattern, and hence this is the bearish count that we have. Now a bullish count for Bitcoin, so I'm just going to save this wave count for now so that we know exactly what to expect from bulls and bears. So this is a bear count. Okay, I'm just going to hide it for now. Hold on. So this is the bear count. The bull count. Now let's go to the bullish count. The bullish count is the move on the downside is ABC. Now this is a very interesting take I have, a very interesting ABC, or it can be WXY zigzag as well. So we have two bearish count. First is ABC. So the move on the downside was clearly 5 waves, hence this is wave A, and this is an irregular expanded flat, which is your wave B over here, and we got another 5 waves on the downside taking it to wave C, meaning that the bottom is in, or we might sweep one more time to 60,000, maybe even 58,800, just a wick, but very possibility that the bottom is likely in my view, if you're talking from sub-minute perspective. Now this can be a ABC, and if that is the case, and if you are seeing that this is ABC, meaning the BTC is likely going to chop a little bit between 62,100 and anywhere between 62,100 and 64,300. That's the chop zone would be for Bitcoin. So we just probably likely going to chop here, accumulate, and then probably going to run it like this. That's how BTC can do. Actually, if you're talking about if you're literally talking about the bullish case, ABC. Now I'm expecting, I longed because we literally reclaimed the H4 EMA 200. That's the only reason I longed, or I gave the limits to spot buys. And I personally believe that there is a possibility that flipping EMA 400, EMA H4 200 might be a little bit haywire, might be a trap as well, but the volume is saying that it's not a trap because the volume is good actually at this point. So this is the ABC count. The bottom might be in over here because we are in the 1:1 extension to 1236 extension, and also at current monthly opens. So practically this makes it more interesting for me as a theory that the bottom might be in. ABC is done. We are likely going to chop a little bit for maybe like till 24th, maybe till weekend. And once we get an M pattern, the price is going to soar and it's going to run back turbo to 72,000. Like it goes to 72,000, close monthly above 69.1, and game on for Bitcoin. So then it would be very bullish. Then would be like April is literally going to see more than 85 to 100k for Bitcoin at that point of time. So that is the bullish case, bull case scenario 1. Okay, that is our bull case scenario 1. Talking about a bull case scenario 2 actually. So this is bull case scenario 1. Let me just save it. Bull 1. Okay, so that is our bull case scenario 1. So bull case scenario 2 would be the move on the downside is a choppy move WXY, meaning the move on the downside we got is a very clean W. It's not a 5 waves, it's some sort of a ABC on the downside W over here, and then we got another ABC on an upside X, and now we're getting another, you know, A, B, and maybe a one more move on the downside for Y. So the Y can literally go till 1414 Fibonacci levels, anywhere from here to here. So that is what the wave of Y would be, anywhere from 62,300 to 58,800, and that's exactly what the EMF 50 daily levels are at 58,800 as well. So practically that is going to be your Y wave. Now how the Y wave would happen, something like this is how I expect Y wave to do. Retest the EMA H4, and if it literally holds, you know, we run it back to 64,500 and then dump again on everybody, and we literally go towards a sweep of the lows. Maybe you know, it can literally even go to say 58,800, a daily EMA 50. We reclaim it, we take a liquidity, reclaim the H4 EMA 200 back. Current monthly open is reclaimed. Once it reclaims, we start accumulating chop between EMA 50 current monthly open, and then we start running back up. So that's where your WXY scenario would be. So everybody would be, you know, on sidelines when this sort of thing happens, because what happens is just a mindset. First, everybody targeted, you know, 60,000. So now we are here and the price is not pumping. Next, what's going to happen is everybody's going to target 58,000. Maybe even they would be targeting 50,000. So 58,000. When we literally went to 58,000, people would be like, oh no, we have went to 58,000. It's not bouncing. My next target would be 50,000. They literally will go to 50,000. Oh no, it's not bouncing. My next target is 40,000, and they just miss it. Completely miss the whole move. Remember, we bought at 39,000 simply because of the ABC wave count that we had. We did not wait it for 35,000 at that point of time. If you remember, I mentioned my initial target is 35,000, but 39,000 to 38,500 is a strong Fibonacci levels of in case if it's just like a WXY or ABC move, and it happened to be an ABC move at that point of time. We bought at 39,000 and we made a big amount of money. So just look at this as a very similar sort of a thing. So how are we going to play this? There are two ways of playing. First, we already gave you a limit. Let's try it once by taking a spot trade. The second thing is you just wait for a trend line break of this whole downside move on, you know, Bitcoin. So this is going to be your next best trend line with a WXY move. So that is going to be your trend line. Once this trend line gets a break, basically once we break out of this trend line, simply the bottom would be in and we would be aiming to ride on an upside. Now we are buying spots, guys. I'm not giving you leverage trade. Even I'm not having a leverage. I'm simply having some small coin margin contract long that I open at, you know, current monthly open, and I'm right now riding in a little bit of profits. You know, basically I've moved my stops in profits because of the position size I have. So even if I move my stops in profit, it might happen that I might end up closing in a little bit of loss due to fees and everything, but still it's justifiable, because I think now if EMA 400 on H4, sorry, EMA 200 on H4 is flipped at 62.1, we should now not be going under those levels, and that's why our stop is literally at 62.1. You know, basically EMA 200 on the H4. Losing that, again, we're going to literally close back, and then we're going to wait for it to either go to a 60.3 to 58.8. That's where we would be aiming to buy the spots. Now, as you know, everybody knows that this is what the scenario on the BTC looks like. This is a very valid one, guys. I honestly think that at this point, we really don't need to be afraid of. Yes, 24th of March, we are going to see a P-number lunar eclipse. I have already showed you as to what that eclipse is. So if you haven't watched it, that video as to what that eclipse is, let me show you again. So let me show you guys. Hold on. How the price normally behaves during the perennial eclipse. Now, I'm not an astrologer. I don't believe in those things or shit, honestly. But what are we talking about here is a very interesting historical trend on how the behavior of how a behavioral changes happens during such sort of a high eclipse. Is this a lunar eclipse thing? What was this? 28th of October. This 28th of October, if you remember, I mentioned we are having a lunar eclipse again, and we are likely going to go for a big move on an upside, and that's exactly what happened. And that was again, the first eclipse, that solar eclipse or something happened at around 12th of October. Those were the two eclipses. I was like, we are bullish actually. Where is my chart? I don't know. Just give me a moment. Lunar eclipse dates. I just know that it is on 24th and 25th of it is between 24th and 25th of March. I just lost my date. Yes. So penumbral lunar eclipse is on 24th to 25th of March, mostly visible in Europe, Northeast Asia, Australia, Africa, Americas. So and 8th April, we are having a total solar eclipse. So we're going to see what these two dates are going to bring for us. So first is vertical. So this session, I've not prepared anything. I was having this chart, but I don't know where it went. But right now, this stream is slightly going to take a little bit more time than I thought, because I need to do this drawing again and compare as to what probably might be the outcome for the next eclipse, So the date 24, I'm just going to have a 24th of April, the first date of an eclipse. And then you have 8th of April, total solar eclipse. 8th of April. So 8th of April is going to be here. And then a penumbral lunar eclipse is going to be on 24th of March. Okay, so we are going to have that 24th of March. Or maybe 25th of March. Maybe we're just going to start with 24th of March. So I'm going to change or have the text over here so that I don't forget what exactly this thing is. So over here, I'm just going to write or maybe just add a note here, a text. That would be total solar eclipse. Okay. Total solar eclipse. I'm just going to make a red color, and as well as I'm going to make a line of a red color so that we can distinguish between both the things. So the green ones are penumbral lunar eclipse, and the red one are total solar eclipse. So penumbral lunar eclipse, I'm just going to write it as well over here so that we know exactly. I'm sorry, might take a little bit of time, but I won't take much of time. We are just going to compare data for the past 4 or 5 eclipses, and we will see how at that point of time the PA played out. So hold on. Lunar eclipse dates. Okay. Perfect. Come in. So we will go back in time. So currently we are watching the lunar eclipse dates. I'm having it from 2021 on this website. What was that website actually? Eclipse dates since 2010. Yes, now I got it. Perfect. So this is what. So since 2010 to 2019, we will be watching it. So we will be starting it with 2018 or maybe even 2017 bull run. So let's start with the 2017 bull run because Coinbase chart is having the data. So we will be starting it with 2017. In 2017, we had penumbral lunar eclipse on 10th of February. Okay. So in 2017, we had it. In 2017, it was in 10th of Feb, practically. So we don't want to go in 2017. We will be starting it with 2018. Let's go. So P numeral we don't have in 2018, 2019 P numeral lunar eclipse. We don't have it. So now we go for, so in 2019 as well, we did not had eclipses. Okay. So now we go with 2020 to 2029. Let's see. So in 2020, yes, we had 2 penumbral lunar eclipse. So let's go there in 2020. So the first eclipse was in 10th of Jan. 10th of Jan would be around here. Yep. So that is 10th and 11th of Jan. Yep. Just going to change the color to green because we are talking about the penumbral lunar eclipse. And then we had another penumbral lunar eclipse in the same year in 2020, in 5th or 6th of June actually. So in June we had here. And then we had a similar penumbral lunar eclipse happened on 4th of July, basically Independence Day of US. Okay. So 4th of July here. And then we had again the penumbral lunar eclipse on 29th of November in the same year. 29th October, 29th of November. See? Oh, this is very interesting, huh? Let's go to the 2021. Did we have anything? Nothing. 2022, nothing. 2023. Yes, in 2023, we had a penumbral lunar eclipse on 5th and 6th of May. Let's see what happened at that time. Somewhere around here, 5th or 6th of May. Perfect. So now let's see, we already got all the dates for a lunar eclipse for, penumbral lunar eclipse. So that is what basically, so historically, let's see what happened. So historically in 2020, we had 4. So if you see in 2020, before this happened, we were in the downtrend and then we started pumping back up on after the lunar eclipse. So that pump normally happened, if you see here, since the day of the lunar eclipse happened, we pumped almost close to 30%, and then probably, we dumped actually, but overall we pumped 30%. Now the next thing is in July, when we had another penumbral eclipse, we just went sideways, maybe a little bit down for 7%, and that is what we dumped actually, 7%. But later another eclipse came, a penumbral lunar eclipse came, and then we started a bull run, and what happens, the next was the history. A very interesting thing is on 29th of November, when we were at all-time highs, we swept the highs and the market just dumped after the highs. What we did is the price before a penumbral lunar eclipse went back green and we started a big bull run. Basically, this was a very interesting, I would say theory, I can say. You got a rejection from the previous all-time highs. Then, penumbral eclipse happened. We pumped up, accumulated slightly, and then run back turbo. Like this is what happened in 2020, November. In 2023, what happened? Let's check it out. So in 2023, ideally, what happened? So in 2023 as well, if you see, we already made highs. We went into a downtrend, and then what happened was, before a lunar eclipse happened, we got a little bit of relief bounce, and then price starts dumping more actually after that. So practically since this move, we saw a dump of almost close to 16%. And later what happened is the price went another 7% move on an upside and then further dump. So practically, we have seen almost 5 eclipses in 2024 eclipse and 2023 one eclipse. So in 2020, one of the eclipse went negative, the rest were positives. In 2023, it was negative. Okay. what we might be expecting here in this whole pre-number lunar eclipse. Like just imagine we have already got a dump actually. Imagine this is the situation that we are in November 2020 at this point. We already made highs and we already got a move on the downside for like 15% again from the previous highs. So what if we just bottom before this? We bottom before this, we start going green, and after that we go for like another move on and upside like this. We pump up, you know, we might be probably even going to another new highs before the total solar eclipse. I don't know what's going to happen to the to total solar eclipse, but at least I'm expecting the relief bounces. So if you saw in 2020 after the dump, two things might happen. Either we're going to sweep up the highs, we're going to make new highs, or second thing that we are likely going to see a bearish retest, maybe like something like this, and then further dump further dump to sweep the lows, and then probably recover like this. There are two ways, but for sure, I think we are likely going to see a bounce in my view. So the bounce can be anything. A bounce can be till 69,000, 70,000, or the bounce can be like till 80,000. It all depends. But that is what I'm expecting at this. What my conclusion based on what we are watching the historical data for a pre-number lunar eclipse. Now let's also watch let's have a look at what the total solar eclipse have brought up to us here historically. So I'm just going to go back in 2020, 2018, 2019 because I need more data on it. So we are going to go back to 2018 first, and now we are going to watch how the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse. Okay, we had a total solar eclipse. I mean, I don't know how the solar eclipse is going to play out. I don't know. I've never checked it, but let's see. These are all some interesting, dates maybe. I don't know how this is going to impact the market. I really don't know any theory about it, or I'm not an astrologer. I really don't want to be one. That's not my forte. But what I feel is these all changes brings, behavioral impact on human basically, and might just stress out and make a stress out in making some nasty decisions, and that's how the market impacts. I mean, that is the only theory I have basically. So we go for 2018 first. I don't want to go in 2017, so let's go 2018. So we have total. No, in 2018 we don't have anything. In 2018 we don't. Yeah, in 2019 we had total solar eclipse on 2nd of July. Okay. 2nd of July we had it. So we're going to go for June and 2nd of July here. Not bad. So 2nd of July total solar eclipse, and then in 2020 let's go total solar eclipse. Okay. So total solar eclipse in 2020, we had it on 14th of December, 2020. Let's see what happened at that point of time. So 14th of December. 14th of December. Oh, this is very interesting, guys. This is very, very interesting to me, actually. Very interesting. I'll show you why. I'll just imagine this whole scenario is so looking good with the current scenario that we are having. The 2020 scenario is more likely going to be repeating in my way from the eclipse perspective, the price action perspective. I'll just come back at it. I mean, this looking good actually to me. I mean, this might be my biasness speaking, honestly, but this is looking good to me actually. But we will see what all these things looks like. In 2021, we had the same in 2021. In the month of December, that is 4th of December, October, November, and where the hell is December? So 4th of December. Oh, not 3rd. It's a 4th. Perfect. 4th of December 2021. Then we had in 2023, 28th of April 2023. So let's see. 28th April 28th of April. Oh my god. So this is solar eclipse. In 2024, we are having it on 8th of April. Okay, perfect. So let's us try and understand what this total solar eclipse means actually. And we're also going to look at the perspective, what if we are having a pre-number lunar eclipse before, and then we are again immediately getting up, a total solar eclipse, how this is going to play out. So probably just have a watch, guys. We are going to have all the two scenarios covered in this whole video actually. So the first solar eclipse that we look in is happened in 2019. And if you just probably, this is a total solar eclipse. There are three types of eclipses. You know that what I personally understand. I'm not a, as I mentioned, I'm not an expert in this, but I just see what exactly the price action looks like. In 2019, after this eclipse, we pumped almost close to 18.9%, and later we start dumping. Okay, so yes, we pumped and then we dumped. In 2020, what happened after this lunar total solar eclipse? On 4th of December, the market literally reversed, and you know what happened next? We literally went nuts. We literally go and literally pumped for almost close to maybe 300% gains. I mean, that is what happened. And then in December 2021, what happened is after a dump, I mean, looking to the good side, the day of the solar eclipse, the next day after the solar eclipse ended, we almost pumped 5%, but later we just dumped almost 30%. I mean, that's what. So before that, there was a downtrend. There was a huge downtrend. The price was in a downtrend, before this eclipse happened. And before this eclipse, there was no pre-number lunar eclipse or anything. I mean, this was a straight away eclipse that we had actually. Now, let's go in 2023. What happened? In 2023 as well, if you see, in 2023 April, we had a similar solar eclipse. The price after the eclipse, basically dumped almost, I would say 3.8 to 4%, and later it pumped around 6%. But then we got another, another lunar eclipse. So first we got a solar eclipse, then we got lunar eclipse, and then what happened? The price starts dumping. So what I can sense over here is when you only have a solar eclipse, there is no pre-number lunar eclipse before, the price tends to most likely pump actually, and sometimes it dumps actually, but more likely it pumps. That's what we have seen so far. Now, what is the situation when you first have in 2024? So let's go to 2024. So in 2024, what is the situation? We are first having a pre-number lunar eclipse. Now, in this pre-number lunar eclipse, there are two possibilities that we might see actually. As I mentioned, a pump. A pump can happen with the pre-number lunar eclipse in two ways. So basically, what we might literally do is a little bit of sideways, a little bit of, maybe something like this. And we literally go pump up after the this eclipse. We go to 70,000. There are two possibilities. Till here, we further dump down again till the solar eclipse happens, and then we start running up like this. There are two possibilities. So first is this. So normally when this sort of thing happens, because after total solar eclipse, we might pump. Now the pump can be anything. It can be like 5%, it can be 6%, or it can be like a big bull run. If you really want a bull run, if you compare the pre-number lunar eclipse, first it happened and later the total solar eclipse happened, it perfectly fits with 2020 bull run. So if you look at the 2020 bull run, that is exactly what happened over here, basically. In 2020, we first got a pre-number lunar eclipse, We first got a pre-number lunar eclipse. The price starts dumping before the pre-number lunar eclipse, and we start reversing a day before a pre-number lunar eclipse. So just imagine this whole scenario. And we were already the previous all-time highs, rejecting from the previous all-time highs. So the day the price bottomed, at least I would say 1, 2, 3 days, so 2 days before the pre-number lunar eclipse. And then we started making new highs again, dumping back down, but did not sweep the lows, holding it. And after the solar eclipse, this new solar eclipse, the price just went boom. If the same thing happens, or if the same pattern is repeating over here, I'm just going to copy the whole pattern over here. Where is the pattern? It was supposed to be here. Yeah, bar pattern. So we dump from the previous all-time highs, and then we start something like this. So let's say if I'm just simply cutting, it perfectly fits with the current scenario that we are having. First, a pre-number lunar eclipse, and later a total solar eclipse, something like this. It perfectly fits with the description or the idea that we are having at this point. Let's see. So that is first thing. So before even that, we already got a dump actually. Okay, where is it? Here. So let's assume, because we already are in a downtrend before a partial lunar eclipse. Okay, we are already in a downtrend. So how can this be play out? So today is 14th of March, and normally we should be bottoming 2 or 3 days before. So the 24th of March, so 23rd, 22nd, 24th. So we would be bottoming somewhere around tomorrow, maybe. We should be bottoming around tomorrow, or max by maybe we might be bottom as well over here, because we are at 28th of March. So maybe tomorrow might be bottoming, and we should be starting some relief bounces or something like that. Let's see. Something like this, I'm not exactly, but a similar sort of scenario. So we pump, we make new all-time highs, 75,000 bucks, again come back down, retest the levels of 66,000, accumulate till total solar eclipse, and after solar eclipse, we just simply run back turbo to 94,000, maybe even 100,000 bucks. So that's what the bullish case for us for Bitcoin, which also indicates that there is a very high likelihood that we might be bottoming here, and that's the reason I would just want to buy the dips actually. If I'm wrong, I would just be losing a 1 hour, but that's worth it actually. And this also fits with my theory that total 2 is at support. So if this is pumping, else it should be pumping, and that's why I'm holding my underwater waves and underwater send spot bags. I promise you guys, I will take you out of these 2 bags in gains or at break even, because I am confident that it's going to get out of the break-even in my view if this is bullish. Now, this is perfectly fitting. This whole thing is fitting so nicely. Not because, I have a biasness. I really don't have any biasness. We are simply looking to what exactly this whole, price action can be from, eclipse perspective. So we have a pre-number lunar eclipse first, and then total solar eclipse. So I think the best way to buy the dips would be, in my view, either today, tonight, or tomorrow. I think we are likely going to see some nasty dip buying thing. Maybe tomorrow, one more move on the downside. Possibility is there. I'm not sure, but there is a possibility. One more move on the downside, and khalas. We are, safe, and we are bullish. That's what it can literally give you. So I think if we are wrong on this, because what I've seen is historically, we normally give a relief bounce after a pre-number lunar eclipse. Only, twice it has happened that we have literally dumped from the lunar eclipse, pre-number lunar eclipse date. We have dumped as well. So this is bullish case. The bad case is, as I mentioned, in case if the bottom is in, if the bottom is in and we are pumping up today, tomorrow, or till pre-number lunar eclipse to maybe 70,000, 69,000, and that's what we'll normally start dumping back again till the total solar eclipse. Now, if that is the case, worst case scenario might happen. If that happens, what would we probably looking for is that lunar eclipse is likely going to then start maybe a big dump, the way we saw in in 2023, something like this. So basically we start dumping more on that day. So let's say we start pumping back up on total solar eclipse or relief bounce, a lunar eclipse, and total solar eclipse we start dumping. That is the first thing. The second thing is we literally might start a big dump if literally we are topped out over here, the way we literally topped in 2021. We might top out and we can see a big dump as well on total lunar eclipse. Let's on 4th of April. Now remember, we are also having halving. The halving is in April actually. So people might be just looking for a halving dump as well, because it's like, halving is going to be like, normally we dump before halving, and that's what we are seeing at this point. And after halving as well, we might see a little bit of dump, a shakeout, and then run up, because as you can see, after every halving, we normally gives a small dip, a dump, and then it starts going back up. So that is also a possibility, we should be looking for. This is the 2020 scenario fits so nicely in my view, because we have first we have a total pre-number lunar eclipse, and then few days after we are having a total solar eclipse. Before the total pre-number lunar eclipse, the price starts dumping from the previous all-time highs, which is exactly what happening at this moment. And probably we are very close, like 4 days now since today. Then in next 4 days we're going to have the total pre-number lunar eclipse. So practically we normally bottom around in a day or two, and later the rest can be like, we might just literally be going nuts after that. Now that is one case that I'm watching at this moment. I think even in 2019 we pumped 18% after we bottom actually. Not necessarily we might be making new all-time highs, because we might just pump 15% on Bitcoin and then later dump. Possibility is always there, but every pre-number lunar eclipse is giving me a confidence that likelihood of pumping is higher at this point rather than dumping, which means that the dips are for buying. Now where should we buy? I think the entries, the limits I've given, we should be started to buying, accumulating spots, at least not for Bitcoin, but slowly and gradually accumulating more and more spots on alts as well. I think tomorrow is going to be the day that if we are literally, historically speaking, if we want to bottom, the bottom should happen between today and tomorrow. These are the 2 days we should be bottoming. Max it can extend it till maybe, today is Wednesday. Max we can bottom on Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, we can go for, a bounce on weekend, or chop, and then we start running back up on 24th of March, or 25th of March, basically. That's what we might see on lunar eclipse. This week is going to be very, very crucial, guys. So pre-number lunar eclipse, something like this. A worst case scenario, as I already mentioned, a bull case is here. We have bull case, we have bear case. Both the cases we are having. In both the cases, what I expect is, even we are saying that yes, we are not going to make it. So we are not going to make new highs. Let's say we get one more sweep on the downside, and we are pumping, we are literally going to see another 15 to 18% move, which is going to be like a retest of the previous, all-time highs. That's 2021 all-time highs of 69.1, 69.5 reject. If even that happens, it's like 15% move, guys. Why the hell we don't want to catch this 15% move? No, we want to catch this 15% move, not only on Bitcoin, but we really want to catch the 15% move plus on alts actually. Now let's go back to that scenario as well. So I hope you really like this analysis of very basic analysis of eclipses. I mean there might be a specialist in this field who are looking into this based on the astrologer perspective. I am not that specialist, and I really don't want to be one again. But if you really like this whole analysis, do like this video and share it with your friends. Okay, so let's move on to the USDT DOM. So USDT DOM is also, I think probably we might see one more sweep on an upside. Just imagine it is like a range actually. So a range, in my view, a range would be considered is like, this is the range lows, and then you got a deviation, like here, the price reclaimed it, retested, and pumping back up. If you look at from the perspective of a wave count, what I see is, you got a impulsive move here, an irregular expanded flat. Basically, I really don't see this is like a 1-2-1-2 scenario at this point. I see this is like a very interesting irregular expanded flat. So that is a flat in my view on USD DOM specifically. So that is going to be either your wave 1, as I mentioned. If you are bearish, this is wave 1, this is wave 2, and we are not going to stop. We are literally going to go nuts, and we are going to go to 5.2% and maybe even higher towards 7% levels, very much higher, which means that everything go wrecked. Our bear case scenario gonna play out, and this whole scenario of lunar eclipse is just going to not play out. A relief bounce might happen, but then we are going to dump further to 50,000, as I mentioned, and maybe even 48,000. That's our bear case scenario, okay, for BTC. So that is a bull case scenario for USD DOM. Let's say if this is not 1-2-1-2, and if this is some sort of ABC, which I feel is very likelihood of ABC being playing out. Why? Because if you look at from the daily time frame perspective, over here we closed daily RSI over here, just look at it, the RSI. We closed daily RSI above 50, which is definitely bullish, but now we are looking some pullbacks, and I'm seeing a run up here with, you know, it in 5 waves actually, which means that we might be logically, logically coming back down under, and then we will be starting dumping to retest the RSI based MA one more time, and then we look for a run up like this. So this is a possibility, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. So USD DOM is definitely bullish in my view on the daily time frame. Weekly is yet to turn bullish. But yes, daily is definitely bullish. So I think at this point, this makes more interesting to me. So I'm not saying that we are likely going to play this whole bull case scenario, making new highs and then running to 100K. This is a very least possibility at this point, but at least a 15% bounce to 69.1 to $70,000 and reject from there to 50,000 makes more and more sense to me, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I personally feel actually, and hence I think that we should be buying the dips actually, unless and until proven otherwise. But dips are for buying tonight. From tonight to tomorrow, I think this is the next I would say 48 hours are going to be crucial, or not only 48, that next 36 hours are going to give us a bottom. Ideally, historically, we should be getting our bottom, and then we should be getting a relief bounce till pre-number lunar eclipse happens on 24th of March. Okay, so the USD dominance is what even I'm expecting. If this is 1-2-1-2, then yes, definitely we should be sweeping the highs. Chop. We have a strong resistance at 4.95%. Reject there and start dumping down to 4.36%. Later, it just literally dumps to 4%. Maybe even sweep the lows is a possibility. And this is how we're going to see a very interesting, very interesting irregular expanded flat. So possibility is always there. So this can be, some sort of a this is B, and this is going to be a C on the downside. Basically something like this. It's going to be like irregular expanded flat. So this is going to be C, and later either making new lows, or maybe, as I mentioned, just a retest of the range lows, and maybe we run up further. So something like this. That's going to be an irregular expanded flat. But the pump to 5.7 to 6% is definitely going to happen, guys, whether you like it or not. And once that happens, trust me, you really don't want to buy any dip. I mean, you just really want to enjoy your moment in USD. Literally, I mean, I would say for a few days you just have to be out of the market, and that's what it's going to be when it starts flipping the levels of 4.95%. That's how it's going to be. Now the pump is going to happen at 6% for sure. So we have discussed the Bitcoin plan, USD dominance plan. That is very important, guys, because if you guys are very much clear with it, we bottoming, you really want to buy any coin, you can buy it. Why? Because total 2 is holding the equilibrium, guys. And if you remember, I mentioned we can max go to current monthly open of an EMA 50 daily support of $1 trillion. We are here, guys. And if you don't buy the dips at this moment, I really don't know when we should be buying the dips actually. If we are so afraid at this point, when we literally need to buy, okay, you really don't want to go into the leverage. I would not recommend at this point to go into leverage, but definitely the spot bags, we should be starting to slowly and gradually buy. Your spots might go a little bit under for like 2% to 3%, but definitely I would say it is a must buy. I would be literally accepting a loss if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, if I'm wrong that equilibrium is lost at 1.04 trillion, and if we are wrong, definitely we are going to lose the current monthly open, but that is going to give us a best risk reward you can ever have on the alts actually. And that is something. So let's say if on the next dip, if we are getting it something like this, the stop loss literally should be under the current monthly open. Once that monthly open is lost, we are flipped. You simply close it, whatever the alts would be. You are going to lose not more than 5% practically. But just imagine your rewards. We are talking about a pump up to the range highs, which is like 45%. So your risk reward is almost 9R over here, guys. So you're just risking 5%, and you're going to make more than 50% gains on your overall portfolio average. I'm just talking about an average. Many also are going to go nuts, Many also will pump like 100%. Many also are going to go pump like 200%. But just imagine the risk reward we are having at this point. This is the levels I would suggest. Buying the Bitcoin, you should be buying some alts as well. What alts we should be adding? First, if you look at from the total 3 perspective, the total 3 is literally at a resistance at this point. Right now at equilibrium. Once it flips these levels, I suggest, and I personally think, because this is simply going to be either wave 1, 2, this is your wave 3 over here, and this is your wave 4, and we're going to see something like this. So the total 3 is going to go nuts, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to go nuts. Others are going to perform. So once it flips the equilibrium here as well, total 3, 687 billion, you should buy. I mean, this is the dip. What you should buy, in my view, you should be first buying the AI coins. First, RNDR, you should definitely buy. I bought RNDR today morning as well, around 10.5. And I still think RNDR can go to 9.6 and maybe 9.5 in case one more dip happens. But if it starts flipping or reclaiming the levels of 11.5, the bottom is in, okay? Bottom is in practically. So that is RNDR. Second, FET. FET, now this is the basic analysis of FET, and it's very, very crucial. I really want you guys to know FET in next few days, I'm seeing FET going to $4. Okay. Yes, 3.95 to $4 is where it should go. And from there, it should be dumping back to $1.6. Okay. So practically the wave count that I have is this was the top of wave 3 for FET, and we got a nice zigzag correction. Now we have two scenarios over here. Possibility is the bottom might be in. So understand this is as like, two possibilities over here we are having. First, this is the bottom. The bottom is already in. Okay. The move on the downside is not WXY, but this is some sort of A, B, and a flash dump wave C. So the bottom is in. Okay. And we are already started 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is 1, 2, and this is going to be 1, another 2, Monday low retest, hold up, and we're going to run back turbo on FET towards 3.6, 3.8, maybe even $4. And that's what the AI coins are going to go nuts again, actually. So that is one scenario. The second scenario is WXY, which is there in your screen. We might be looking for one more push on the downside towards the green box that we are having. We already went to the green box. As you can see here, we went to 2.17, but the best optimal target would be around 1.97 to 1.73. That is where the optimal buy zone for FET actually. And from there, it just simply pumps up to 3.6 to 3.8. So what are you going to do with it, guys? How we should play it? I think there are two ways of playing it. So first, if you are just let's say if you're just wanted to ride it to 3.8 to 3.9, I would say wait for a retest of previous week lows of 2.28. If we are holding those lows and if that level is not losing it, I think we should be buying the dip slowly and gradually start. Like, let's say you can buy probably, if you really want to buy FET for like 10% of your portfolio, so you should be adding 5% over here. Now, let's say if you just go for a toss, if it loses, then add it around, around 1.97 to 1.8, another 5%, so that you're going to bring your average to literally around 2.1 to maybe 2.06. That's what your average should be in this green box, because this green box is your optimal trade entry zone. Actually, that's where you optimized your spot bags. This is what I'm aiming for FET. My target of FET is around 3.6 to 3.95. That's what, and after that, I'm expecting FET to further dump like this, come back down. This is going to be very interesting at that point of time, coming back down to 1.8, maybe even doing something like this, broadening top pattern and fill my bigger target and run it back turbo to $8. That's what I would be expecting for FET at that point of time. But this is what I'm expecting at this point for FET. Talking about few of the coins that I personally like is CRV first. CRV weekly is looking amazing. Okay, sure, there is no doubt in it. So the weekly is looking amazing. As you can see, I mean, we really wanted to buy this coin. The current yearly open is holding very, very nicely, and I would say what are the levels we should be buying for CRV? I think any retest of the previous month made around 0.55, because that was your support, would be a good levels to buy CRV in my view. Second, Aave is literally at support. I don't know where the chart is of Aave over here, but let's just have it. Aave, we got our stops at break even for Aave, if you remember, and we got out. But I still feel that Aave is the good chart at this point on a weekly time frame. If you look at here, it's holding up the levels. I would like to see if one more push down is happening. I think Aave should be a good buy anywhere from $100 to $95 is what you should be buying Aave, accumulating there. And your the targets would be for Aave somewhere around, in my view, would be maybe more than $170. So these are the two alts. The next alt, of course, my favorite is Atom, which is yet not pumped up at all. We have got a very interesting bullish wolf waves and a double bottom. Also, the 1 hour is turning green over here, as you can see, which is giving a good sign to me and some confidence that the double bottom for Atom at a support like this at $10.6, making it a very interesting bullish wolf waves. And I personally think that if this is the case of the bullish wolf waves, once it flips the 11.4 or $11.5 on Atom on daily time frame, once it closes above. Yesterday, if you look at here on the Atom on the daily, we did close yesterday, I would say under 11.5, which is not a good sign. So if today we are closing above 11.5, I would say Atom is back in the game, and we will be buying Atom at 11.5, because I would then be expecting Atom to do something like this. Now the pump can happen till 12.9, okay, like a head and shoulder sort of thing, and then we further dump down to 8.5, maybe 7. But the way phone is doing, FTM is pumping. Near has already pumped a lot. One is also did a very good job. So Atom is the only one which has not performed well, which has not pumped yet the way others have pumped. So if that is the case, and if the money should be rotating in Atom, it is going to accelerate, and it's going to do something like this with a very massive run up. Why I think this deep start for buying? Because just imagine this is a zigzag correction, A, B, C. That's your clean wave A over here. A, B, C, a wave B with almost close to 786, 886 Fibonacci level retest. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So the bottom might be in for Atom, or it can have one more push on the downside to 10.6. But this is looking very, very interesting with ABC scenario on the downside with Atom. So I think any flip on 11.5, you should be buying spot bags, and your invalidation then would be around 10.6 for Atom. So that's what you should be aiming for. Also, just have a look on Atom Bitcoin chart, because that is also relevant for us at this point to see whether Atom BTC is ready or not. But if you look at from the daily perspective, as I mentioned, I was expecting Atom BTC to pump, and it literally, yes, pumped almost 20%, and then we lost it. We just went more and more downside on Atom. But now, I personally think that this is a very good sign for Atom. I think there is a very likelihood that the Atom might be bottomed here actually. And why do I feel this way is, just imagine this was your lows over here without any sort of a bigger impulsive move, and you got another move on the downside, practically giving us a very interesting another bullish wolf waves over here, which is a very valid bullish wolf waves practically over here. I mean, just imagine this bullish wolf waves definitely is one of the strongest bullish wolf waves I have ever seen. So I think if Atom is going to outperform Bitcoin, I don't care what BTC is going to do. Even if it is going to 100K, I won't buy much. I would just spare 10% of my capital for Atom, because even if BTC goes to 100K, Atom is going to outperform Bitcoin. So basically, the end of the day, my Bitcoin positions, or let's say if today I am able to purchase 1 Bitcoin, for example, and if I'm just putting that 0.1 Bitcoin in Atom, so tomorrow, even if Bitcoin just pumps up to like 100K, I still will be having not 0.9 Bitcoin, but I will be having more than 1 point something Bitcoin, because Atom is going to outperform Bitcoin. And when that happens, when you are looking for a big bullish wolf waves, ladies and gentlemen, trust me, I have seen this sort of a bullish wolf waves on one of the chart, and which was RSR and Zilliqa. So when that happened, the target was outperforming 70 to 80%. So I think Atom is so far is very, very looking good. And it's, to me, looking very much ready at this point in my view. So I think 11.5 flip, and you should be buying Atom for sure in my view. Just don't miss on Atom this time. Trust me. And this can go to 10.6. So let it wait for 11.5 flip. Once flips, you simply buy Atom. That's what I am suggesting at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so we are having Atom is my high priority at this point. Also, I am having a harmonic over here on Atom on the daily time frame. Problem is the harmonic might not be valid, but just check it out if this is a really valid one. If it perfectly fits, this should not be 786 actually. Yeah, 786, and this is one, and this is something like this. Let me just open my cheat sheet on infographics that we have on my website. I have given the harmonic cheat sheet over there. So let's open it up. Loading. Yep. So when we get a highs, yes, this perfectly fits the bullish shark pattern. This is the bullish shark. Perfectly fits, guys. A bullish shark pattern perfectly fits. In fact, this is like a... Yes, this perfectly fits the bullish shark. And shark is very, very bullish actually. It bites, and when it bites, it just, bites you big actually. I mean, you won't be able to survive. And which also means that once it breaks out, it's not going to give you any sort of a retracement if this bullish shark is literally going to play out. So yes, we have a little bit of accurate harmonic over here. I would say this harmonic is a very valid one. We are having a bullish shark pattern over here. So this harmonic is valid. You see this bullish shark pattern. We literally went to 113 to 1518. Yes, we went above 113, which is 1159. We went till A can go to 886 Fibonacci levels, maybe. So we went to 786 Fibonacci levels, and then your wave C can go to 1618224 Fibonacci levels. Yes, we are already there at 1680. So we are very well have been here. So I do think that bullish shark pattern is very, very likely. So Atom BTC is giving me the vibes that it is looking good, despite the fact that everything else is looking bearish. But everything is red. The oscillators are red on the daily, so we still need to wait and look for the lower term time frame for Atom if this is literally going to flip. So H4 is looking good. It is turning green over here, and the momentum is slowly and gradually crawling back upside. So we want to go inside in Atom once it flips Atom 11.5. Once it flips, we go. That's all for Atom. Okay, I'm just going to bring back my original chart. Yep, 11.5 flip, and we are going in. Now let's go to Solana. Solana is interesting also at this point in my view, and if I have to tell you about Solana, I think Solana is interestingly looking great. Why? Because it's also forming a very interesting bullish wolf waves over here. Now this can be a 1-2-1-2 scenario and might be wrong, but this is a very clean small bullish wolf waves over here on Solana as well. A very interesting one. So I have seen these plays out in two ways. Either we hold up here like this and we run up to Monday lows on Solana like this, or we just have a small run up on towards the weekly and daily naked POC, and then it dumps towards the bigger levels of $153. So that's what Solana is going to do. So it reached my primary target of 205 to 210. If you remember, that was my primary target for Solana. We have reached those levels. So I would say I think this is a very interesting. So once BTC gives us that bottom, when USDT dominance also sweep up the highs, that would give us a very good confidence that the bottom is in. Either we sweep up the highs, or either it loses the equilibrium and would suggest that the bottom is in. That there are the only two options probably you will be having at this point on the crypto market at this point. But in my view, in the next 2 days, we might be bottom as well at this point. But looking to this thing, I think today and tomorrow is going to be very crucial. And I think tomorrow we should be absolutely bottoming around, and we should be buying some spot backs, whatever the price that would be at that point of time, and we should be holding it to at least 10 to 15% move on an upside. Okay, you can open 2x position on Atom Bitcoin, but wait for Atom to flip 11.5. Once it flips 11.5, then you open 2x positions on Atom BTC. Hey, hi, good morning, Malwar Sasi. Hi, Rollman, good morning. Hope we have ALR bottomed. Alt bottomed. Alt, as I mentioned, I mentioned that total 2, yes, in my view, it's bottomed actually, honestly, and we are now seeing a very strong sign of a reversal. So we just wanted to see how this daily is going to close. If daily is closing this way on the total, and if RSI is also reclaiming the 50%, game is on, baby. We are just going to literally run. They also are going to run, in my view, then towards $1.5 trillion. So how I imagine this move and how the plan should be playing out. Bitcoin does something like this, maybe. So it pumps 15%, Bitcoin does something like this, but alts dumped, and alts are going to do something like this along with Ethereum. So that's where the rotation of money is going to happen, in my view. Ideally, this is how it should happen. But let's say in case of Bitcoin is very, very bullish and it goes for our bulla case, as I mentioned, then I think alts are going to go a little bit slow actually. Bitcoin is going to run. Alts are going to, slowly play a catch up. And when Bitcoin starts running big towards 100K after the total solar eclipse, then alts are going to catch up very, very big. They are going to pump one after another, 50%, 100%. That way, alts are going to run back turbo. So there are two possibilities, you need to understand the market psychology. You need to understand the market, how the market can run actually. If Bitcoin is bullish, it makes highs, it goes to 75K, forget about alts. Of course, they will be bullish. They won't break down, but alts are not going to run as well. The king would run, and the king would run to 94K. Once it finishes that run to 94K, the money is then going to rotate into alts, and alts are going to pop up one after another. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's going to fly actually. So that's what the total 2 chart is telling me at this point. So overall, I see there is no bearishness in the market, guys. We need not be afraid of anything at this point. We just have to wait for it. Aave, I already mentioned. Can you update us on waves and sand still exiting B? For now, the plan is to exit B. But remember, in case if BTC goes bullish and if it goes for the highs, it's going to target above 70K, then we are not closing waves and sand. Because waves, just look at the waves, guys. Here. No, this is LRC. LRC is at support. I was having this chart 0.34. It hit the support levels. If anybody would have bought it, I posted this on the previous stream. I mentioned I'm expecting LRC to retest 34 cents to 33.9 cents. Basically, if we do happen to go to the equilibrium, we're holding those levels. I think LRC is going to hold it, and it's going to go for a nice impressive move on an upside towards $1 as well. So this can be a very good buy. If you have bought at 34 cents, good. If you haven't, wait for it to give a retest, a double bottom, and then probably you can go. Okay, in LRC, buy some spot backs for LRC. Your invalidation levels would be, in case if it starts losing the daily under the equilibrium, which is 34 cents. Even if you close a single candle, you simply close it for like 1% or 1.5% loss. But once it reclaims it, immediately buy it, and then you probably can ride it with a good confirmation. Whatever the loss you make for 1.5%, you're gonna make it back with like a move to $1, maybe even higher. But LRC is an interesting coin at this point. Now talking about waves, actually, where is the wave going? Waves, what is this? ENS. So why I feel that wave can outperform actually? Why? If you look at the waves chart on the weekly, I mean, we are talking about the weekly now. We're not talking about the daily or anything, but right now we're talking about the weekly. If you talk about the weekly chart over here on the waves, what is interesting is that we are at support. Okay, my chart is a little bit looking messy, but look at here. The indicators are green almost, and these two are orange, baby. But still, overall, it is giving me a vibe that we are bullish at this point. There is no sign to be afraid of. Now we are at support, as I mentioned. This was the breaker. The breaker, we are into the breaker, and we are holding the previous quarter highs, previous week highs. So we are holding those levels. What we really want to see this weekend is we really don't want to see waves closing. It is an engulfing candle. I don't want to see wave closing this weekly, under $3.4. I really don't want to see. If it closes at $3.4, then we have a problem. Then we are just going to literally exit at break even, or maybe even we're just going to try to exit at 4.45. retest. Whatever the pump we're going to get from BTC, we're going to look for waves and we're going to exit it. Okay, so that's what at this point I feel that this is bullish. There is no sign, there is nothing to be afraid of at this point, and waves is looking good actually. Sand is not looking that great, honestly, to be speaking. Sand has lost the weekly levels. If you look at the weekly EMA 100, weekly EMA 100 is very, very crucial. So if you look at here, yes, we have lost the weekly EMA 100 on Sand. Where the hell is weekly EMA 100? A lot of lines I'm having it. So I'm simply going to hide it. Yeah, so weekly EMA 169 cents, I was at 68 cents, and then we got an engulfing candle on the weekly, which is not a good sign. So if we are getting an engulfing candle over here, I think right now we are holding the support. So what I'm expecting is, normally when we get a bearish engulfing candle, we normally go for a retest of a 786 Fibonacci levels to golden pocket zone. So if that is the scenario, and if you're saying that an engulfing candle has to be it has to give that retest, then definitely I'm expecting sand to give us a retest of at least 0.5 to 0.382 Fibonacci levels, would be somewhere around 70 cents to 73 cents, and then later dump more. But this is bearish now. Sand have turned bearish on the weekly with a weekly bearish engulfing candle. I honestly feel that at this point sand is not bullish in my view, unless we just keep on chopping above 55 cents, hold it, and then we can run back turbo. This can be a whole 1-2-1-2 scenario. This can be one over here, this can be two, this can be a one, this can be a two, chop, we go sideways, chop, and then we go for an impressive pump up to more than $1.5. But I do think that we are likely going to either there's a possibility that we are high likely that we are going to exit either at break even or sand. Even if not break even, we are going to exit at probably our original stop loss of 69 cents with losing just 1 hour on this sand. So I think we're not going to lose more than 1 hour. That what we planned previously, but that can offset versus waves. If waves can give us an impulsive move, because it is bullish yet not being bearish, if waves can give us a move to 4.45 as a bearish retest, definitely we can close waves for not 1 hour, but at least what are the profits we're going to make it can compensate the sand losses. But that's what my plan is. So I do feel waves is looking good, sand not looking good, it's bearish. So sand, we're definitely going to try to exit either at our original stop loss 69 cents, or if it gives a push to 73 cents, then if it goes to 73 cents, I will be able to exit at break even. If not, then probably I'll just be accepting loss at 69 cents. That's what. Near, let's have a look at APT first. APT is bullish and daily closed above as well. Interestingly, above 14.5, which is a good sign. So we really need to wait for today as well, because we need 2 consecutive close above 14.5. If we don't close today as well above this green box, then we have a problem. We just have to probably wait a bit as well. But yeah, APT is something is trying to look good. Actually, it's literally trying hard at this point. Near USDT. So Near protocol, let's have a look on the Near, guys. I do think at this point Near is doing ABC, guys, whether you like it or not, but I personally feel that this is a strong ABC. Why? The move on the downside, I feel this move was some sort of a ABC, and then you got another ABC on the upside, B, and then you got a 5 A's on the downside. I'm expecting Near to, most likely either the bottom is in, or we can have one more push on the downside towards 5.8 to 5.5, which is where we have a support, and we have an accumulation zone, and from there we are going to break out and go towards 9, maybe even $10. The worst case scenario is we lose the previous week lows over here, and then we can look for more and more downside. But this downside scenario is looking very, very less likely. Why? Because of Bitcoin. Because if you're expecting Near to go down, which also means that BTC should be going down as well, So that's what the plan I have for Near. About gaming coins like PYR, as I mentioned in last live stream as well, that yes, PYR is looking great overall. But if you look at from a price action perspective on PYR, just look at check it out here. So if you are saying that PYR USDT, so if you're saying that PYR is definitely looking good, I think PYR needs to reclaim certain levels. Right now, if you look at the weekly chart on PYR over here, it is having a strong bearish engulfing candle, which I really don't like it. Any asset has a bearish engulfing candle on the daily always tends to dump for next few weeks. So last time also PYR had a bearish engulfing candle here, and we dumped for another 4 weeks continuously. So we might be having a little bit bounce for going towards maybe 8.5 or so, or maybe even to $9 as well. But I'm expecting PYR to eventually go towards 5.7, maybe even 5.6. So yes, I will be bullish on PYR only and only once it flips the $9. We are having a engulfing candle. I would not ignore this engulfing candle, honestly, to be speaking. So yes, intermediary, we can get a bounce from here to 8.5 to $9, which is a really good bounce, 15% bounce. So that is a possibility. Venry, shitcoin, just looking at the Venry over here. A lot of people shield Venry actually on Twitter. If you look at here, Venry, on the weekly time frame, it's look great. I honestly don't see any sign of a weakness, but if you look at from the 4-hour or daily perspective, I think this is absolutely looking great. Why? So I personally think that there is a possibility that Venry might be looking for a big breakout. If you see here, we are already getting that vibes of a breakout. So how? This is your neckline, and we are already breaking out here. So once Venry flips the Monday highs, basically if it flips the 0.33 322 levels, once it flips, you should buy, and it's just going to go to 0.4 very quickly, and maybe 0.44. If it don't flip, if it loses, then we are going to dump. But this is looking bullish to me. Why? So one more important thing to note over here is the move on the downside for Venry is clearly A, B, and C, and later what you saw is either this move is like A, this is B, and we are going to see 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and we're going to dump like this. So that is a possibility for Venry. So even if that happens, you really get a good chance to buy above Monday highs and let it ride for 30-35% move, make money with 30%, exit, and then let it just dump towards 0.28 back again, if that is the case. If the worst case scenario is that this is ABC, so we can just pump it up till from Monday highs, we can just pump it up till the bearish order block that we have around 10%, 11% to 0.35358, and then probably dump. So this is how you should be playing. Flip Monday highs, and you can minimum make 10% to 11% gains, max 30%. That's what you can make out of it. Talking about INJ, this is going to be my last chart. No, INJ is shitty. Just forget about it. It has lost all the levels for now. It's perfectly looking for a very interesting PO3 setup. I mentioned, this is an accumulation on the left side, and then we got a deviation on upside. Trap, bulls got trap, and now we have got like a manipulation. So this is this is an expansion we are getting. So even if you pump, I'm expecting INJ to pump till maybe 40.2 or $42. But yes, definitely a pump from here to $40 will give you another 10 to 12% move on an upside. Overall, what I'm seeing for INJ at this point is I personally think that this is how it should go: $41, and then probably dump down, take the liquidity, double bottom, equal lows, and go to 26.5 previous quarter mid, maybe a previous year mid as well, and then run it back turbo to 86. But that 86 is going to happen. This is not topped actually. We might be in a prime preliminary accumulation, like a bigger accumulation, but I think the top is not in. It's literally going to have it one more push up towards 86 to $100, and that's going to happen actually on INJ. And now if you really want to buy INJ, let it just flip $45.3 on daily, so you can just buy big bag of INJ, because right now the PO3 is very clear to me actually, so I'm just simply not gonna touch it. And honestly speaking, so till it don't flip 45.3, I'm not gonna buy another spot bags for INJ. I sold my spot bags. I bought with an average of 30.3. I sold it around 44 point here. Basically this was the candle retest, bearish retest of $44.5. I sold it around $45, and I knew, because if you don't reclaim it, it's just going to dump like this, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, also our AI bot nailed every short moves, guys. I don't know how many of you guys are playing with it. I've given access to all of you. You should be playing it. I'm going to post a result in the next few maybe half an hour or so for the next past 4 days. So we are going to start with the next 2 days. My team is going to give me a result, send me the result for they are working on it, and they will be sending me soon. I have the result for basically at least the past 2 days. What bot has played, even I don't know what it is. I'm just going to work out and make it properly and going to share it with you. Let's see how the bot plays out, guys. That's all for the today's stream, guys. If you honestly would like to join Bybit using the link, you can do it, guys. I'm not shilling anything over here. It's just, if you really like my content, of course you guys are paying it. Many majority of you guys are paying $21 a month. The way the and the new members are paying $34, 34.9. So basically I won't ask much from you, but in case if anybody would like to use Bybit, of course it's on you. I mean, it's up to you guys. Thanks a lot, and have a nice day. Take care. Bye bye.